There is something incredibly hopeful about planting seeds. Every time I sit down with a tray of soil and a packet of seeds, I'm reminded that growth begins in places where nothing appears to be happening. Today, while I sow these seeds, I want to talk about something that took me far too long to learn: the importance of choosing your community wisely. Not just your friends, not just your family, but the people who have access to your mind, your heart, your dreams, your vulnerabilities, and your energy. Because the truth is, the people around you will shape your life experience far more than most of us want to realize. As I press these tiny seeds into the soil or place them on a napkin, I'm thinking about how carefully we choose where they go. Some seeds need full sun, some need shade, some need protection while they're getting established. And people aren't that different. The environments we place ourselves in matter. The people we surround ourselves with matter. And yet, so many of us stay in situations that are slowly harming us because leaving feels harder than staying, especially as women, especially as Black women. Many of us were taught to endure, to be understanding, to be forgiving, to be accommodating, to carry burdens that never belonged to us in the first place. We're often expected to absorb discomfort for the sake of keeping the peace, but keeping the peace and sacrificing yourself are not the same thing. They're actually very different things. One lesson I learned over the years is that my intuition notices things long before my mind and heart catches up. Maybe you've experienced that too. You meet someone and something feels off. Nothing obvious, nothing you can point to, just a quiet feeling, a hesitation, a pause. And then what happens? You talk yourself out of it. You tell yourself you're overthinking. You tell yourself you're being unfair. You tell yourself to give them a chance. And sometimes, maybe that works out, but sometimes it does not. I can only speak for myself, but every major situation that hurt me was preceded by a gut feeling I ignored. Not because I didn't notice it, but because I doubted myself. And that's something many of us have been conditioned to do. We've been taught to trust external opinions over our own internal wisdom. Yet, our intuition is often gathering information before our conscious mind can explain it. In fact, researchers studying intuition have found that our brains process patterns and environmental cues before we're consciously aware of them. Sometimes your body recognizes something before your mind can put words to it. That's worth paying attention to. As I cover these seeds with soil, I'm reminded that not everything reveals itself immediately. Sometimes the truth is hidden beneath the surface, and unfortunately, that applies to people too. Some people arrive in our lives appearing supportive. They cheer for us publicly. They smile in our faces. They call themselves friends. But over time, their actions begin telling a different story. Maybe they constantly criticize your goals. Maybe they dismiss your accomplishments. Maybe they create confusion where there should be clarity. Maybe every interaction leaves you feeling smaller than before. Another thing I've learned is that healthy relationships leave room for growth. Unhealthy relationships require your shrinking. Healthy people celebrate your progress. Unhealthy people become uncomfortable when you start believing in yourself. And if you've ever experienced betrayal from someone you trusted, I know how painful that can be, because the wound isn't just what they did, it's the realization that the person you thought they were never truly existed. That's a grief all on its own. As I water these newly planted seeds, I think about nourishment. Everything living needs the right conditions to thrive, and so do we. Here's something fascinating. Studies consistently show that social connections influence stress levels, physical health, emotional well-being, and even longevity. The people around us affect us far more than our moods. They affect our quality of life, which means protecting your environment isn't detrimentally selfish. It's necessary. And that can be difficult when history is involved. When you've known someone for years, when you've shared memories, when you've survived hard times together. Sometimes we mistake familiarity for safety, but they are not the same thing. Just because someone has been in your life for a long time doesn't mean they deserve unlimited access to your future. Breathe that again. History is not a lifetime membership. Length of relationship does not equal quality of relationship. And this is where so many of us get stuck. We stay because we're remembering who we thought someone used to be, or who we hope they'll become. Meanwhile, we're ignoring who they're showing us they are right now. If someone repeatedly harms your peace, or intentionally harms your peace once, believe that information. If someone repeatedly creates chaos, believe that information. If someone repeatedly manipulates your reality, believe that information. You do not need endless evidence to protect yourself. You do not need permission. You do not need a unanimous vote from everyone around you. You are allowed to leave situations that damage your well-being. And for anyone listening who feels guilty about creating distance from certain people, I want you to consider this. Would you knowingly plant healthy seeds in contaminated soil? Of course not. Not because you hate the seeds, not because you're being dramatic, but because you understand that environment matters. The same principle applies to your life. The right environment allows growth, The wrong environment limits it. One of the most freeing realizations I've had is that I don't need everyone to understand my boundaries. I only need to honor them. Because the people who benefit from your lack of boundaries will often be the first people upset when you create them. And that's okay. Their discomfort isn't proof you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's proof you're finally doing something right. As these seeds begin their journey beneath the soil, there's no visible proof of growth yet, and healing can feel the same way. You set a boundary, you leave a harmful friendship or family ties, you distance yourself from unhealthy dynamics, and at first, nothing may seem different. You might even feel lonely. You might question your decision, but growth is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Something better is being prepared beneath the surface. So, if you've been feeling lost lately or even isolated, if you've been disappointed by people, if you've been carrying the weight of betrayal, if you've been questioning yourself, let this be your reminder. Trust yourself. Listen to what your intuition is trying to tell you. Protect your peace without apology. Choose your community carefully. And remember that every season of pruning creates space for healthier growth. You deserve relationships that nourish you. You deserve friendships built on mutual respect. You deserve spaces where you can fully be yourself. And most importantly, you deserve to stop abandoning yourself to make other people comfortable. As I finish watering these seeds, I'm reminded that the future is shaped by what we choose to cultivate. Not every seed gets planted. Not every relationship gets continued. Not every person gets access. And that's okay. Because protecting what you're growing is part of the work. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me today. I hope wherever you are, you're choosing yourself more often and trusting your own wisdom a little more deeply. Until next time, may your truths always find room to bloom. What do you want? What you fussing about?